Hi everybody, welcome back to Quarantine Cooking with Carolyn. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Greek dish called pastitsio. Now this is the Greeks' version of lasagna. But a little word of warning here. This is what I would call a steppy recipe. By that I mean it's got several steps and it takes a little bit longer to get it on the table than some of my, say, dump and go crock pot meals, right? So that being said, if you're not one to do something that's a little bit more involved, you might want to have your best friend make this and invite you over for dinner. So let's go ahead and get started. Over here in this pan, I have already browned a pound of lean ground beef and 1 medium onion that I have run through my mini chopper that I've shown you several times. Now, for my Weight Watcher friends, this is a 7-point meal if you're on the purple plan. It is 9 points on green and 10 points on blue. So this is a lightened up version. Now, I have just added an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. I'm adding 2 ounces of a dry red wine. And I'm adding 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. And then we're going to stir that up and we're going to let that come to a boil, which should just take mere moments. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cover this and we're going to lower the heat and let it simmer until it thickens up about 30 minutes. Stirring it about every 5 or so minutes. In the meantime, you want to put on a large pot of water, and when that comes to a boil, put 8 ounces of a whole grain penne pasta on to boil and cook that according to the directions. All right, so while the meat is cooking and the pasta is boiling, I'm going to show you the next step, which is to make the cream sauce. Now that sounds really fancy, but it really isn't that hard. In this pan, I have melted 1 tablespoon of butter, and to that I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of flour. I'm just going to mix that, and I'm going to add a good pinch of salt, about 1/4 teaspoon or so, and a little pinch of pepper. Now to this, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of evaporated milk, and you want to add this slowly, mixing in that flour. And what you're going to do is you're going to cook this, stirring occasionally over medium heat until this starts to thicken. And that'll take about 5 to 8 minutes. So my white sauce has thickened, or cream sauce rather, has thickened. And we're going to take the next step, which is to take 2 egg whites. Now I'm using the liquid egg whites that come in the carton. These are very handy to have on hand, especially if you like to bake. I use them for making icing. I add them to omelets. They can be very useful from time to time. Plus you don't have that leftover egg yolk from when recipes call for one but not the other. Now to the 2 egg whites, we're going to add 1 egg and we're going to scramble that up together. And then to this, I'm going to add about 1 cup of the hot cream sauce. And you don't have to be too fancy about it. You don't really have to measure it or anything. You're going to mix that up. Now what you're doing is you're tempering the eggs so that they don't scramble. Okay? And then we're going to add this back to the saucepan. If you were to add the cold eggs to the hot sauce, they would pretty much scramble. And then you don't want that. Okay. So that's all good to go. My pasta is ready to be drained, so I'm gonna do that and then we're gonna put it all together. We have one more short step and I'll show you that in a second. All right, so I've drained the pasta now, and to this I'm gonna add another whole egg and 3/4 of a cup of evaporated milk. And we're just gonna mix that together, breaking up that yolk. Just like that. And then, this pot's hot, so I'm gonna pull this over. Now, this is a 9x13 pan, and to this, I've already sprayed it with some cooking spray. I'm gonna add half of the pasta. And, let me get another pot holder here. Then we're gonna add the meat mixture. Okay, and just kind of spread it all around a little bit. Then we're gonna add 1/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. Oops. More pasta. And that cream sauce that we made. And I'm just gonna give it a little whisk before we do anything with it. There we go. Okay. Go and just kind of spread that around a little bit, and another 1/4 of a cup of Parmesan, and I just grated this, so I'm just going to use it right out of the container, just like that. Okay, then this goes in the 350-degree oven, covered for 20 minutes. So here is our finished pastitsio. And as I said, it's a little bit steppy to do, but you will be richly rewarded for your efforts. So give this a try, guys. I know you've got this.